Hi, everybody. We just wrapped up session 30. Curse the Crimson Throne. Um, Beans. Yeah. Um, well, let's get to it. All right, so I expected to do House Arcana, which is it's designed as the capstone for this chapter. They had already dealt with Pilt earlier. We talked about how they did that early, so it sort of accelerates things. The people that they need to see are at the bottom of the labyrinth. It's kind of a shoehorned way to wedge a dungeon into this chapter, and the party rightly sniffed out that it was shoehorned, and I give them that. But it's Dungeons and Dragons, after all. So, yeah, they went into the house. They had the conversation. They could not discern much due to the non-detection aura that's on the palace. So to accelerate and or derail the encounter. Your mileage may vary on which is which. They they used magic beans to summon another mummy lord. It is what it is. Um, so I put out two mummies to make it at least a little bit more of an interesting fight. In addition to the mummy lord, and use the abilities a little more aggressively. But so many characters. We've only got a couple of turns in. And the noble tried to get away. We failed to get away, so we'll pick up on that role play encounter. I'll have to spend some time thinking about how this changes things, because I assume they're not going to do it. But yeah, we'll see. Um, so still Rakshasas in the place. Didn't have to ready anything. I did a little bit on the fly tonight when they decided to attack Glorio. I didn't think they would, but they did. Um, So I had planned to do the roleplay session. That all went very much as planned. And then, he says, okay, prove yourselves, survive my labyrinth, and your friends are at the end of it, as he's wont to do. That's his jam. He's a Bond villain, I guess, in that way. I don't know. But so he offered him that thing, and they planted a magic beam. And it summoned the mummy lords. I had done the thing where it's like I'm not going to use the duplicate result, but that's exactly what they were going for, was something disruptive like that. So yeah, I give it to him. I mean, a lesser dungeon master must. Oh no, I need to change this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, right? But it's an item that I allowed them to have that has a table on it that does these things, and I could curate and veto the chaos, but I should have, and if I wanted to control this scenario, would say no to the item, and that didn't happen. So here we are, beans everywhere. He's got two left, and we'll see how the rest of that plays out. But as it is, chapter 3 has been derailed, and we'll have to see. I mean, so from a game master's perspective, right, I do have a couple of options. I can try and come up with some contrived reason why they have to go through the dungeon. Um, if we were not using milestone, they would need to go through the dungeon to get experience, but we are using milestones. They just need to complete the chapter. I suppose I should review the chapter looking for any clues or story beats that they might pick up on, and make sure that there's a way that they can get those even if they don't do the labyrinth. Um, figure out where those are coming from, and find a good way to incorporate them into the thing. But they've captured the guy. He might acquiesce to their demands, right? And then we could just let him end the chapter and move forward. That works toward my goals, and that less work for me to do. It rewards their decision, their player agency, right? Sort of cheapens the thing in that they skip content, but content gets skipped if you talk about like Tomb of Annihilation, for example. And whatever path you take through the dungeon determines what you, or the jungle determines what you run into, and you miss half that book. Same with Rime of the Frost Maiden, right? You're not going to see all of those encounters if you just run that adventure one time. So content gets skipped. I don't know. The reason for them to go in there is kind of contrived. So I kind of agree with them that another way to solve the problem is probably valid. So that'll be my homework assignment going into next week is how do we make sure that the story beats are still respected if we let them just solve the situation this way. So that's it. Tune in next week and we'll see how that goes. Comments, questions, etc. Put them below. Click on the things. Subscribe, like, all of that. Please support this however you can with the options that we've left still available. And I'll see you in a week, give or take cancellations. You know how it goes. Have fun playing your game of choice. Take care.